It's health and safety gone mad. Stephen Poole reviews Tracy Brown and Michael Hanlon's suggestions for how to change the absurd rules that blight our lives.
On my way to Poland the other week, I was going through security at Heathrow behind an elderly man who walked with an aluminium crutch. He went through the metal detector leaning on his wife, having left the crutch next to the conveyor belt. The detector beeped, so the man was given his crutch and forced to go back through to remove his shoes, a procedure that obviously caused him some annoyance and discomfort. Now in socks, he was ordered to pass through the metal detector again. But he wasn't allowed to take his crutch with him, and his wife wasn't allowed to go back through the detector. Eventually, the security guard himself reached a hand through the detector to help him, and the man, grimacing, limped through, while his crutch passed through the baggage scanner. We've all seen such examples of the meaningless security theatre at airports. One pilot had his butter knife confiscated just before taking the controls of an enormous metal machine packed with flammable fuel. Liquids over 100 millilitres were banned in carry-on baggage, even though the initial incident which led to prohibition of liquids, a plot to mix chemicals in the plane's toilet to produce explosives, almost certainly wouldn't have worked. And yet, as Tracy Brown and Michael Hanlon point out in this book, passengers are not only allowed but encouraged to buy and take on board large duty-free bottles of alcoholic spirits, which could easily be turned into Molotov cocktails. This book about absurd rules considers such security restrictions as well as more general health and safety rules. While security promises to protect us from external threat, safety protects us from accident or ourselves. Actually, the phrase health and safety has become so familiar that we don't quite notice that the two concepts are not necessarily mutually reinforcing. What is healthy might be unsafe, going jogging along a river populated by irritable hippos, and what is safe might be unhealthy, staying indoors binge-watching Netflix series 24 hours a day. Although many stories of absurd official regulations turn out to be simply rules imposed by unimaginative bosses or supervisors, some do seem to be true. In Kent recently, school teachers had to fill out a 30-page questionnaire before taking pupils to the beach. The safety assessment form for workers on an oil rig is only 1 page. In general, whenever officials cite terrorism laws to stop you taking photographs in public places, or a call centre worker cites data protection as a reason not to tell you something, the authors recommend being polite but firm. Really? Which rule are you thinking of? And how does it apply here? The core philosophy of the book, the authors say, is ask for evidence. It turns out that there is no evidence that, say, using your mobile phone at a petrol station is dangerous. Nor has there ever been any evidence that using your mobile phone or any other electronic equipment will interfere with the systems on commercial aircraft. So that rule is, finally, being relaxed. If we were really interested in evidence-based safety, the authors argue, we would ban large trucks from city centres. They kill a lot of cyclists, as well as raising the driving age from 17 to 21. But some options, unfortunately, are simply political impossibilities. In America, this is why people can't buy unpasteurized cheese, but can buy a gun. In Britain, it is why people worry about dangerous dogs, but do little to reduce or calm traffic around schools and playgrounds.